How about the Gator Court Hotel? Is it still here? You live here, right? Do you live here? Who lives here? Do you live here?
I live here, but I don't know the Gator Court.
Channel 20, yeah, Gator Court. What? Are we going? The Gator. How about the? Yeah, all right. How about the Gator Court Hotel? Stayed at the Gator Court. It's a it's a motel, by the way. First race here. Back our van up there, and I mean the floor. There's they called it carpet, but it wasn't carpet. There's no way it could really be carpet. So we broke the bike in qualifying. So we backed in the old days, the motorcycle guys all had box vans. So we backed the box van to the car, or not the car. We backed the box van against.
Let me hear this. You backed the box van up to the hotel and unloaded the bike.
Yes, with a ramp into our room, and so we set it there half and half. So we could get underneath it, pull the ramp out, so it's sitting half in our room, half on the box van. So we take the transmission out, we have a solvent tank in our room, and all of a sudden it's like we're tired, and then in the morning we're throwing it back together, they bump into the solvent tank, and all the solvent goes all over the carpet in the hotel. You talk about a mess in the hotel. That's why my shirt says "One Thrashed Hotel." So that was my first experience in Gainesville, Florida.
They've been chasing you with the bill ever since.
Can we start now?
Yes.
You broke an 86 race winless streak with your 6th win, and you are the Pro Stock Motorcycle point leader. I bet even you hadn't thought of that.
Again, yeah. The last time I was a points leader, I put a #1. Our trailers are 12 feet high, so I put or 13 foot high. I put a 13-foot #1 on the back of my trailer and went to the next race to just, have fun with it. And I actually got to have it on there until I lost until I lost the points lead after the 3rd race. So I still might do that.
Tell me a little bit about your day. You look like you were surrounded by Buells basically after the first round.
Well, this being the first race that Suzuki's won since 2011, it's a Buell epidemic out there, and really the V-twins. But we got fortunate in the first round. Katie red lit. And then somebody else red lit, who I don't remember who it was, and then we're lost. So I call my engine builder and I'm like, why is my motorcycle such a pig? It's not fast, and for what we think's fast. And Matt Smith. So he said, I don't know, we're doing this, and this. And I'm like, I've tried all those things. And he says, well, keep going down that road. So I just kept going down that road, and all of a sudden it produced a fast run. I was more proud of actually the semis than I was of anything, because I lost to Hector Jr. in the finals here, and I really feel like I should have won that. So it was Buells everywhere.
That loss to Hector Jr. in the final was last year. Anybody want to try to set him off again?
He'll start on his own. Steve, briefly, your thoughts on the
Good luck.
Your thoughts on the new Suzuki rules for this year and how much they help?
It's so funny. I go to the NHR. I went to the Daytona 500, right? So you go to the Daytona 500, and you're kicking all these stones looking for money, right? There's tons of money over there. They just can't figure out where to spend it. So I'm just got my hand out, and I had a deal. Oh my God, the guy that didn't do my sponsorship for this race. Oh my God, I cannot wait to call that guy. But they don't even have it. Why won't people call you back? It's like so cool to just say no. Just tell me no. But they hide under their corporate umbrella. It's like you're knuckleheads. So we could have provided a lot of value to that company, and a lot of people would have bought tickets if they would. In any case, the question was
Suzuki rules.
The Suzuki rules, yes.
Briefly.
Briefly. It's so the sanction body constantly wants to do something. When you don't have a particular brand of motorcycle or car win, you got to wake up and say, hey, we got to make some changes. And I know they wake up every day trying to do the best they can, but from a competitor, it looks like they're knuckleheads. Okay? So that's a great quote, right? So to back up that quote, I know they do the best they can. Finally, they've got a rule that in theory should work out. They added weight to us, close it all down. I'm happy with the rule. I hate the fact that every single time they make a rule change, it has to happen to the Suzuki, and they take on the economic impact of it.
Vance and Hines would disagree with you. But
except only one time, with Vance and Hines, where they changed them not having a bazooka anymore and making them have 2 valves per cylinder and push rod. So that's a little complicated. But at the end of the day, the sanction body, I know they do what they can to make things right. And for the first time, a Suzuki winning in 3 years, it would appear that we're right, and I would be crazy not to say so. Briefly.
Okay, he's done.
Actually,
This is one of the older traditional tracks
The four pro winners combined for 74 years and over almost 1,400 races. Why does the older track seem to favor guys who have a lot of experience?
Well, this track on a motorcycle, this is probably the best story I think is the car guys. They've got roll bars and seat belts and sophisticated driving styles and all those things. But the motorcycles, you got to wind. It's trying to push over two wheels. So not only are we trying to stay in the groove, we're trying to stay in our lane with the wind. It was 30-mile-an-hour gusts trying to push the motorcycle over sideways. So you're trying to go straight, and the wind's trying to push this way. I'm surprised that nobody had some serious problems today. So getting back to that, it's the experience that allows us to be able to cash in on some of those things. Katie Sullivan, in the last round of qualifying, she didn't even make it down the track. She just instantly went to the side. And she's new at riding. So you have to understand, a lot of these tracks, they have characteristics. The next winner is going to tell you that. These tracks have crazy characteristics. And if you take notes, all of a sudden you get to the track and you look at the notes and you're like, oh my gosh, this has got a big crown in the right lane. I got to remember to point towards the middle of the track. And so those are the things that help the guys with a little bit of experience to be able to say, hey, I can cash in this experience by being able to implement it in my run at the 2014 Gator Nationals when I've been here 28, so a lot of years.
But you mentioned the crown in the right lane, but you were the only one of the four pro winners that won from the right lane.
Yes, a statistic. Awesome. Yeah, it was. I saw him. We took off, and I was a 009 light, and I took off, and all of a sudden he was next to me, and then I saw him disappear, and for my mind, where's Alan? Alan, all my deal was motorcycles. We can't stop. We can't make the first turn, and that's the TV turn. So I thought I'm going to let off because I know he's going to win. I'm like, oh, I feel like a heel if I let off too early, but I wanted to make the first turn out. Because at 200 miles an hour on a motorcycle, you can't stop, right? So you can't make the first turn out. You got to go all the way to the end, and there's TV down there. So I made sure in my brain, oh gosh, I can stop. I can make the turn off for the TV. Does that make sense? Maybe not.
As much as anything else you said. I want to ask you one more thing, and I know I'm going to regret this. Where's your program for the season, and is this something that will help you sell your program for the season? Because I know you're looking for extra assistance.
For sure, it does, and I hate everybody crying about the assistance and stuff, and I appreciate you asking that. And we're just like any other team. You can see the motorcycle. So the reality is when people love wins, and I cannot figure out corporate America. I swear we have one of the strongest programs in all of motorsports, because we're not only engaged in the fans that come to Mellow Yellow NHRA drag races and all the retailers, but we're also engaged in the 17 to 24-year-old demographic that's always looking to buy cars, always looking to buy food, always looking to buy disposable. They have disposable income up to $80. Kids in school have up to $80 of disposable income a week now. So it's like we're in all those tech schools every other week. We're in front of over 50,000 students. So when we get a chance to influence those students about their buying habits, that becomes a marketing idea, and maybe corporate America can get involved. And I think our whole sport has that to offer it, but we're doing it right now. And I think if I do that more now with winning, that is what's going to drive the reality of, hey, that's a solid program. Let's throw him a couple bucks and see what he does.